Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about The Wife's Story, written by Ursula K. Guin. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Now, The Wife's Story by Ursula K. Le Guin is a very interesting story. Now, the story starts off very interesting, very normal. You think that it's a normal story about two people falling in love. Well, let's cut to the chase. Let me tell you guys what's going on here. Basically, this is a wolf speaking. It's not a woman. I mean, if you read the story for the first time through, you think it's a woman that's talking. It's not a woman. It is an actual wolf that is talking here. She sounds like a normal woman. She sounds like a normal woman who meets a nice man and who's falling in love and who's going to start a family. That's exactly what they did. This woman that's speaking starts a family with this man that she likes. He's nice. He's awesome. He's a great singer. He's a great. I mean, the story, the way that Ursula K. Le Guin sets this up is basically everything is perfect. It's like a romantic, fiction that's going, and it's just everything is going how it's supposed to, and well, it's really not how it seems. It's really not how it seems because the woman is a wolf. She's a wolf, and she's married to a werewolf. All right, she's married to a werewolf. And basically, this is like, I mean, there's a lot of like werewolf movies where people get bit by wolves and they turn into werewolves, and you know that whole tale. Well, this is that story flipped. Basically, this is a wolf talking about this wolf that she meets, and the wolf is actually a human, part human. So at night, the werewolf comes into this wolf pack. It becomes a part of the pack. The wolf is like a wolf. It's a great singer. That means it's a great howler. So once you understand that this is a wolf speaking, talking about a husband that's a wolf, everything makes sense. The fact that they're singing, that there's lodge meetings. Lodge meetings are when wolves go out and they're howling to the moon. You think he's a great hunter. That's literally, he's a great hunter since he's a wolf. He's gonna be hunting. So all the things that a wolf would do, this werewolf does during the moonlight. He's married to a wolf. They have kids. The whole time you think it's a woman that's speaking. The whole time you think it's a woman that's speaking, and it's not a woman. It's a wolf. And so basically the story goes on, and well, during the sunlight, the werewolf is not a wolf anymore, becomes a man, and the man would go off and do man things that men would do, and when it came back as a wolf, it would smell different, and the wife is like, man, you smell different. There's a weird stench on you, and the kids would notice, and the wolves would notice, and they're wolves, so their sense of smell are different or better than humans, and so they're like, what's going on? Because this wolf is, when it's with us, but when it goes out during the sunlight, it's coming back with these different senses and different smells, and wolves sleep during the day. They're not really moving around during the day, so this werewolf is going out during the sunlight and coming back at night, so it's very strange, and it has these strange occurrences. Now, throughout the short story, it kind of feels like the werewolf, the woman werewolf, the wife here, she's the wife. This is the wife's story. So the wife werewolf, the way that she's talking is like, her husband's going out. She doesn't know where her husband's going. It kind of starts to sound like an affair, but it's not an affair because these are wolves. This is a werewolf that's turning back into a man and going back into civilization, we can assume. So all of that's going on. And well, it's very quite strange because throughout this whole reading of this story, you're thinking that it's a woman, it's a human woman that's talking about her husband, a human husband, but it's really not a human husband. It's a werewolf. And so ultimately, their youngest daughter, the youngest werewolf daughter, gets scared of the father, and things are unease. I mean, the wife, she had a sister that lived with her at some point, and the sister moved out when she saw that the werewolf and The wife wolf was starting to get along. She moved out. She moved down the way. So there's a lot of language that's used within this work that kind of like really tries to like not give you the actual. You notice little bit by little bit, the little things by little things, but it really goes out of its way to make you feel like this is an actual woman talking, not werewolf. Not a wolf, but it is an actual wolf that's talking. So that's very interesting because instead of saying that, my sister, when the wife here is talking about her sister moving out from her house, they don't say house. They don't say things like that. They kind of like say, oh, she moved down the way. So that's not saying she moved to another apartment. It's kind of like it's a very vague. So a lot of the locations and things are very vague. Things that we, as if you're on home, house, things like that, you can play with them. They can be you can have a loose definition of a house. I mean, a cave can be a house for somebody. A hole in the ground can be a house for somebody. So the house can have a loose definition. I mean, if you look up if you're going to be technical, maybe not, but people, when they're speaking, a lot of times can have a loose definition of the word house. Okay, so there's very specific language used throughout this short story to make us think about this house, about things, to make us think that this is not a wolf. It's a regular human being or human woman talking about a human husband. So the story goes on. The story goes on, and basically the wife here, the wife's story, the wolf here, the female wolf, she says she notices one day during the sunlight, her husband turning back into a man. His hands changing, his legs changing, his face turning from a wolf face to a human face, and it's a white man. It's a white man, flat face, not a wolf face, with the big, nose and all that kind of stuff. Becomes like a very small nose, like a regular white man. And the wolf is saying that it has, long feet, long foot, but it's a man, so it has arms and legs, and the wolf is like, man, that's a man, like thing that was my husband, but now my husband's a human man. So like the wolf is like very afraid and terrified because her husband just turned into a human man, and the human man grabs a big stick, a big branch that had fallen off, and fallen off, and the human man tries to attack the wolves, and the wife here that just saw her wolf husband turn into a man, she bites the stick, and she screams, in fear and panic, and for help. The rest of the pack come out. They chase the man. It tries to weave and bob and tries to, escape, but wolves are faster than men, and so the sister comes out, like a G, and the sister of the wife here, she comes and she chases down the man, and gets him down and bites his neck and kills him, and he's all bloody. And the sister like wipes her mouth from her legs to get the taste out of the human blood out of her mouth. The sister here, and the wolf pack, they go back into the twilight. They go back into the hills. They go back after killing this man who was a werewolf, and so the pack of wolves killed this man that was a werewolf. And the story ends like that. So it's a very different story, and in terms of deeper meaning, in terms of analysis here, there's a lot to unpack. I mean, the story tries to hide the fact that at first it's a female human. It tries to make us believe that it's a female human that's speaking, but it's not. It's a wolf that married a werewolf, or that had kids, or however, wolves have families. So well, the story is the wife's story. So the female wolf was the wife of the werewolf, and the werewolf, there's a myth or there's an idea that this curse, or this phenomenon, was in this werewolf's blood. It's from his father, or from his family line, and so it changes everything. I mean, there's all types of things you can think about. You think about this man who turns into a wolf and goes and marries another wolf and has kids with another wolf. That's something that's a little bit disturbing. a form of bestiality there, if you will. It's also very disturbing of how it's the whole wolf thing like turned upside down. Where humans turn into wolves, but now it's um, human a werewolf, a human that's a wolf, but has a family with a wolf, and the whole dynamic of that, um, and the way in which it's for us, you kind of see a human. I think you kind of really see a human as evil. This story really makes you see the werewolf as evil. Because when the wolf is describing what she's seeing her husband, that's a wolf, becoming, it's quite terrifying. All right, it's quite terrifying. Um, because you see this man that is this wolf that's turning into a man, and her description of the man is quite ugly and terrifying and disturbing. And to a wolf, another wolf is looks quite good, but a human looks naked, and no facial structure looks flat, and nose looks dull, and body looks weird, and walking on two legs, and long arms that can grab sticks and hold guns, and it's very strange. And also thinking that this is the husband, because the wife here, she says how much she loved her husband, and to see her husband die, to see her husband hunted, to see her husband disappear, and this man takes its place, it's quite disturbing. So she even calls the man the evil one, which, I mean, that says a lot about. That makes me think about Satan, because like the evil one is Satan, and so it's kind of like she's calling the man the devil, or this, and to her that could basically be her devil, because you have your husband that you love, this thing that you adored, that's cursed and turns into this hairless, two leg walking, stick carrying, trying to kill you thing that rips away your joy. And so to her, that is her devil. That is her evil one. So that's something to think about in terms of deeper meaning and analysis. That's something that needs a lot of reflection. What does she mean by evil one? I mean, there's that whole idea of her joy being ripped away, her peace, her love being ripped away. So that's an explanation right there. Um, and then what does this say about her kids, the wolf's children, and their half human DNA? So that's another thing to take in here. So there's a lot to take in about humans, how they seem to animals, about what humans do to animals, how animals perceive humans, and what does this all mean, about what we do to animals. So there's a lot to unpack with that. So there's several different ideas that are going on within this work. From the story of the werewolf being flipped, from how animals view humans, from the way that the story doesn't tell us that the wolf was actually the woman that we thought we were listening to, that she was actually a wolf. And also the evilness of human beings, how they might look evil to the wildlife, to animals. Because to the wolf, when she's describing what her husband is turning into, she's talking about, he just turned into a man with pale face, no hair, man that can wield a gun. So, wolves can see humans. In this story, the wolves do see humans as evil, because they can kill. Men with guns can kill wolves. So men with guns can be pretty formidable to a wolf. A man with a gun can be, yeah, a man with a gun can be very formidable to a wolf. So that's something to think about and unpack. Um, so yeah, that's the short story by Ursula K. Le Guin. The wife here, the wife story is definitely a wife story. But again, I think from the title, it tries to put your mind to think that you're going to hear a human wife. Because when we think about wolves, we don't think about female wolves as wives. We don't think about male wolves as husbands. We just see them as animals reproducing. But when the story says the wife's story, the wife's story here, you start to think about of a human female that falls in love and has children and has a house, and this is human civilization. But it's not human civilization. It is a hierarchy of animals. It is a higher hierarchy of wolves. In the same way that humans have our hierarchies in society, wolves have hierarchies of who's the top dog, who's the leader, who's, they have their own way of ordering things, of arranging things, of hunting. They know who's the alpha, they know who's the head of the pack, alpha, all the hierarchy, for wolves. So that's something to take in. So really, this is an interesting read, and you have to read it very closely to pick up everything that Ursula K. Le Guin talks about and displays within here. But that's my summary analysis. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.